Hello, my friend. It's great to be here with you today. The name of today's practice is Get Ready. It's about being ready to move in any direction at any time, and that readiness can be found in our center. So welcome to practice. My name is Brenton. If you are new to me, I'm here with my friend Ollie as usual, and we will go ahead and get started on our backs. Oh, and here's a block if you want it. All right, so take your time to come on down. Move around in any way that feels good to you. Getting ready to move means that our brain knows what to do first, second, third, fourth, so on, and it knows how to do that pretty quickly. So the first thing that we want to be ready for is to move the biggest muscle in our body, the glutes. So ground your feet down in front of you, someplace that's comfortable for your legs. And then lift your hips up off the mat any amount. You want to pick a position where the low back feels long and press down through the feet. And then drive up muscular work in your butt muscles. Your butt muscles flow from the top of your pelvis all the way down your butt cheeks to the plugging into the outer upper thigh. And so all of that tissue contracts to lift the pelvis up in such a way that the low back still feels spacious. Keep holding this with me. Breathe nice and low and deep. At the same time, feel your rib cage shift down away from your chin so your chest gets a little bit more space. And then stretch your arms up to the sky. Squeeze in at your fists. And then stretch really wide through your fingers. And do that over and over again. Squeeze and stretch over and over. Now while you do this and things are getting a little bit heated, what you want to do is stay nice and calm with easy breathing. So starting to feel now the forearms as well as the butt muscles. In your own time, go ahead and release and relax that. We'll move on to our abdomen. So if you have a yoga block, you can place it the thinnest way between the knees. If you don't have a yoga block, not a big deal. We'll bring the knees up over the pelvis if that's manageable for you. And if it's not, you can keep your feet on the ground, no problem. What we want to feel here is anchored in the belly. So the belly button pulls down, your front ribs pull down, and the back of your neck gets really long. The back of your neck's gonna wanna kink here, right? So you gotta resist that. You gotta get it nice and long, and you should already feel your belly working. So you're ready here. Interlock the hands behind the head. If this is a lot of work, continue to do this. If you can do more, lift up off the shoulder blades. Keep your head soft into your hands so you're not using your neck muscles. And then come all the way back down. Once again, lift up off the shoulder blades. And here we're gonna get into the lower abdomen as you turn the pelvis an inch or two to the right, your whole legs will shift, and then you turn your pelvis on the mat an inch or two to the left. So twisting a little bit in the pelvis, you're gonna start to feel different layers of that belly wake up. Good. Okay, come back through center, release and relax. Don't deprive yourself during this release and relax. Really let this be your time to let go, let loose, deepen your breath so that you arrive fresh up off the shoulder blades and soft into the hands. Here we go, twisting an inch to the left with the upper body this time, using the muscles between your ribs. Come back through center, come to the other side. Same principle here, so you're squeezing and hugging in, but the rib cage is doing the work to lift and spin. Oh, I'm gonna feel this tomorrow. Go ahead and come all the way down. Release and relax. Okay, my friend, one more time. Knees up over the pelvis, lift up off the shoulder blades, head soft into the hands. Turn your pelvis to the right as you turn and lift your chest to the left. Come back through center with both. Turn your pelvis to the left. Lift and turn to the right with your chest. Come back through center one more time on each side. Keep breathing. Oh my gosh. Come all the way down here. You made it. Keep breathing. Release and relax. All right, you're gonna feel that sense of readiness as you roll on up and eventually come around onto all fours and then elbows down on the ground to set up for dolphin. So your elbows under your shoulders with your hands wide or clasped. If you don't know which one you like, play around with it. From here, lengthen your spine, tuck the toes, and shift off the knees so you put more weight in your forearms and your shoulders. Let go and let loose through the head and neck, so you might even turn there, because now it'll force you to set your shoulders in a certain way. Then you want to strengthen that shoulder position, really push the ground away. Feel all the muscles around your armpits, your chest, your upper back, all of that turns on. Now, if you can make that really reliable, you can start to shift over into the right shoulder a little bit more as if you were going to unweight your left forearm. And then you can shift back through center and over to the left as if you were going to unweight the right side. You can do that a couple of times here, really just feeling all of that good stuff engage and turn on. Good job. Even if you don't make it through, these are tough. Taking your knees down to the floor and come up on your knees. I'm gonna kind of scooch myself forward on my mat here, but I don't think it's really important. What we wanna do here is tuck the toes under if we can. If you can't, do what you can do. And get your pelvis up right over your knees. Feel yourself get nice and ready here. So we're gonna step forward, but we want to preserve as much of the spine as possible when we do it. So we're going to press down with the left side. See if you can step the right foot forward. Press down, use your legs, step the left foot up. Good. Bend your left knee, step the right knee back and down. And then let that be really steady for you. Left knee back. Other side, stand on the right knee, step the left foot forward, bring the right foot through. And stand on the right leg, bring the left knee down, step the right leg back. Good job. Take the hands down to the floor, stretch and lift up into downward facing dog. Couple of full deep breaths here. Feeling your fingers work for you more than your wrists. As you feel ready, we'll begin to take the feet up towards the hands. And so you kind of figure out like what's possible for you to do in that regard. And take all the time you need to press down through the feet, scoop the tail, and come all the way on up to stand. Reach the arms all the way up. Take the hands all the way down in front of us. Bringing in, breathing and reaching the arms all the way up. And then this time, as we take the hands down onto the pelvis, what keeps us ready to move is when we stay strong. So we're going to stay strong in the spine, and then we're going to bend the knees a little bit, and we're going to stay strong. That means keep the same shape in your spine as you hinge forward at your pelvis, but stay strong all the way down over your legs. Bend your knees, try to keep that spinal shape still, hands to the floor or to something higher like yoga blocks. Go ahead and step the left foot back, tap the knee down for low lunge. Push in, come on up right here. You can take the hands one to the front, one to the back of the pelvis. So you can start to feel around here, shifting and getting the pelvis centered between your legs, between your armpits. From here, take the hands down under the shoulders, step the right foot back so you're in plank, a long, nice line from heels all the way out through the head. Grip the floor with the fingers and breathe. We'll tap the knees down to the ground, stay strong in your whole body, bend your elbows, and keep your shoulders lifting as you come all the way to the floor. Once you come down here, you can let go and let loose for a few moments. Taking a few deep breaths into your belly. Lengthen your legs behind you, point your toes straight back, arms by your side. And you want to feel the front of the abdomen lift into the back body as you float your feet and knees up off the ground. So your whole back body, imagine it's like an inner tube, you can inflate it. And so you're getting the skin on your back super puffy. As you lift now the chest and the arms, you're in locust pose. Now we'll keep the front body engaged as we take the elbows down under the shoulders. Peel the front body up so that the pelvis is lifted. And if you like, tuck the toes, shift the knees up off the floor for forearm plank. As you feel ready, tap the knees down. Pelvis comes back to the floor. And stretch back into your locust pose. One more time. Elbows under the shoulders. Lift up off the pelvis. Lift up off the knees if you like. Okay, keep your spine nice and strong. Bend one knee and then the other, bring it underneath. Up to the hands, so we're in tabletop position. Shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. We can move the spine through cat-cow, staying nice and strong in the arms and the legs. So my arms and legs are going to resist moving as much as possible, and that includes rotations. If I watch really closely, I can see how my arms and legs are just kind of always wanting to wobble underneath me. Find a neutral spine here, and then tuck the toes, hover the knees up off the mat, and shift the pelvis up and back, downward facing dog. As we feel ready, we'll lift the right leg up behind us. It does not need to be straight. You want to feel it evenly set. Then bend the right knee, step the foot down and forward a little bit. See if you can unweight the left foot and bring the left foot in the air. Step the left foot back where it just was. Reach the right leg back, one-legged down dog. Bring the knee in, step the foot down wherever it lands. See if you can unweight the left foot. Step the left foot back, right leg up. Right knee in, the shoulders can shift, bringing the left leg up. One more time. This time as you bring the foot forward, the right foot forward, you bring the left foot up. See, can you unweight the hands, roll all the way up to stand with your left knee up with you. Just breathe here, stretch out through the heel, step it forward, step forward so that you're right over both heels. A couple of deep breaths. Reaching the arms all the way up to the sky. We'll stay strong in the spine as we hinge forward at the hips. Step the right foot down, tap the knee back, and then roll up to low lunge. If you sandwich the hands on the pelvis, you can take a moment to feel where is it, and just make some sense of it. Right sitting bone right up over that right knee. Next position, hands down, stay strong in your spine, step the left foot back, high plank. Hold it here, grip with the fingers, tap the knees down, try to make some sense of it as you bend the elbows and come all the way to the floor. Slide the hands back, lift the legs, but feel the whole front body peel up into the back body, and then elbows down, peel the front body up, forearm plank. One more time, knees tap down, come all the way down. Stretch the hands back, lift the legs. And forearm plank one more time, elbows down, shifting the pelvis and the knees up. Stay nice and strong as you bend the knees one at a time, bring them underneath you. Come up to the hands, tabletop position. Tabletop position, we can move through a few more sets of cat-cow. Breathing nice and deep into the lower belly. Really feel the shoulder blades moving on the back, creating more space in the front of your chest and your armpits. Okay, set your spine in neutral, and don't worry if you don't know what neutral is, but one day you will. Tuck the toes, hover the knees up, stretch the pelvis up and back, downward facing dog. Stay strongly connected to your hands, your armpits are lifting. And then the left foot can stretch up behind us. And then the knee bends in, the foot taps down forward wherever it lands. Right foot lifts up. Right foot back where it was. Stretch the left leg. Left knee in. Right leg lifts. So this is just helping us be ready for anything. Try to stay super strong, so you're not depending too much on momentum or gravity. When you find yourself depending on those things, go a little bit slower, do a little bit less. Okay, this time reach your right foot up. We're gonna see if we can bend all the way in, come all the way up to stand. We're balancing. Stretch the right foot out and down and walk forward. Good job. Okay, reach the arms all the way up. And hinge forward at the hips. Step the knees back to tabletop position. And in tabletop position, let's say that it's yogi's choice. So find a way to move around here that's going to feel good to you, including just taking a break if you wanted to just kind of chill out and back on your heels for a child's pose, or just kind of intuitively let yourself move toward a place that feels really soothing to you. In our own time, we'll go ahead and come on up to a seated position. And we don't often do seated stretches, but it might be nice to do a few seated stretches. Spend some time on the floor. And if the floor doesn't feel like a really good place for you to be, then you can take a yoga block and sit up on that, or a step stool and sit up on that, or even come into an ottoman and stretch your legs from a higher place like a chair. So what we'll do here is we'll set ourselves up for a wide-legged stretch. Go ahead and stretch your legs out wide, but not too wide. We don't want to get crazy here. And I like to wiggle and wag them, because when you wiggle and wag them, they need to be ready to do things. And that's going to force everything up in here to be in a particular way to support it. So you can see how the more steady and stable you are in here, the more opportunity you have to move well out here. Now here, you can have your hands on the floor for support, that's okay. We're gonna see if we can windshield wiper the legs in the socket. So see here, how much movement do you have? Maybe one leg is different than the other. Feels that way for me right now. Now, when you're moving your legs, now feel where your pelvis is. And is your pelvis moving? So you can monitor your sitting bones. That's the bottom of your pelvis. You can see, are my sitting bones moving? You can monitor your frontal hip bones. You can ask yourself, are those moving? Yeah. And so what we want to get to is the place where the pelvis is nice and upright, the core is nice and engaged, and it's just the legs. So now meet with the knees pointing up, the toes pointing up, and see here what feels right. Because now you want to use your whole trunk as a unit and decide, am I going to lean back? Is that going to be what feels better? Or am I going to start to tip forward? Keeping the legs still strong. They're not going to splat out like a pancake all of a sudden. I want them to feel plugged in. But hinging the pelvis over the top of the thigh bone. And once you find a place to be, let's see if we can be here for another 30 or 40 seconds or so. So soften your vision and your jaw and your breathing. And when you're ready, we'll come on up and we'll gently feel the legs do their own work here. We're gonna lean back a little bit, but the low back stays lifting, like someone's pushing the low back forward actually. And we're gonna see if we can bend the knees and bring them together. And in this position here, hands wherever they feel useful, you can sort of butterfly the knees a little bit up and down, just kind of seeing how that feels. If it feels good for you to stretch forward, you can stretch forward. If it feels good for you to lean back, you can lean back. See if you can move your spine as one interconnected unit as you come all the way on up out of this. And if there are any more positions that are sort of calling to you or speaking your name, please feel free to pause the class and do those on your own. The next place I will suggest for us will be our final resting position, a Shavasana. So you can come on down to your back for that, or really wherever is a comfortable position for you to rest. In fact, it doesn't need to be on your back. You could be on your belly, you could be on your couch. And choose a leg position that feels comfortable for you. And if your low back is not comfortable, it's probably because of how your pelvis is set, and your legs are levers of the pelvis. So think of your legs as your pelvis's friend to help reset the pelvis if the low back doesn't feel so great. To be ready for something means to have peace of mind about what's coming up over the horizon. It's like anything could be there, and I'm okay with it ahead of time. And that helps us be clear and open and sharp. So there's the physical readiness, which we just worked on. And here is the cognitive, psychological readiness. And we maintain all of that, and we integrate all of that together as we move forward. So now might be a nice time to start moving again. Really beginning with wherever you feel ready to move. You might eventually like to stretch your arms over your head. And before coming up to a seat, you might like rolling over to your side. Come on up to a comfortable seat whenever you're ready. Where it's good to get ourselves organized vertically again. And to close our eyes and to be quiet. And to be ready. I hope you feel ready for the next thing on your to-do list and that your readiness serves you well. I'd also like to say a very quick thank you to our donors, for everybody who donates for this content. You can do that at yogainyourlivingroom.com, and we see all of your names coming through our inbox. It makes us so happy. So really thank you for everybody who has donated, because it definitely makes our day. So we will see you here soon. Be well. Until next time, adios, my friend.